tujuane
jinsi ndio hivyo. Tutapendana, tutakaa muhimu yani bila wasiwasi mazee.
Hocha raya milele
Kwa majina ni Rudolph Simiu na Msonge, the son to the late Simeon Mangala na Msonge.
Thank you. Kwa wana baba
na Msonge Audrey, daughter to Vincent na Msonge.
Thank you, Audrey. Next.
Naitwa Arnold. We're coming here to honor a mentor, a professor. We see a man, so who leaves an indelible mark. We fondly refer to him, and for sure,
Sandra Subo, daughter to Professor.
Thank you very much, Father.
na Mzee Sifuna. Thank you for
one word about this.
Has been at a national hospital and a professor to many, with many, and together I know you have transformed the world, and whatever that professor taught us or we learned from him or we share. Thank you for coming. I know kuna walimu ni mwalimu, sione aibu if you are a lecturer. Aya, please make you well. May God be your strength.
Thank you so much. Can reduce the peak. Thank you. Wakati Father Felix aliuliza walimu waweze kusimama, I was expecting hata wazazi, maana mzazi ndiye anaanza kufunza mtoto jina baba. Kumbe jinsi walimu, walimu beba mkono juu. Beba mkono juu walimu. Angalia baba anakata mtoto. Anyway, asante kwa widi mwenzangu, Daktari Singoro, ambaye ametupeleka through up to that point. I want to take this opportunity with him, nikiwa nimenyenyekea so that I can at least push us again to another level. Our professor who is a fallen hero today, leo tutaongea kama maprofesa, tubani hapo kidogo Rusungu, Bukuzuru, Lundi, inakuwa sawa. Sasa akiwa analala namna hivyo, ni mtu ambaye ni wa hadhi yake na ni wa nguvu. Na huyu jamaa alitangulia kwenda kutafuta mama, lakini wengine pia walimfuata, walikopi mistari zake. Basakwa, niye mliwi Basakwa, tafadhali karibu tu kwa neno moja mbili so that we can do 1 2 3. Please music kidogo studio as Basakwa come. Basakwa ichasamwa isi neno moja tu, unaweza sema nilikopi hivi. Thank you. Basakwa. Niye mliwi karibu sana. Thank you so much studio. Karibu.
Bwana asifiwe. Amen. Na wasalimu wote katika jina la Yesu. Kwa majina ni Bishop Leonard Wesonga. Nashukuru Basakwa nilionana naye tarehe 19 mwezi wa Julai, wakati nilikuwa nimeenda graduation ya kijana yangu, alikuwa anafanya masters. Tukaongea naye akasema mikuu Basakwa ndio ngumu, lakini nashukuru Mungu ambaye amewezesha watoto wake Mlamwa na wote. Bwana shitu kuwapa nguvu na mbarikiwe.
Asante sana.
Kwa majina tena Askofu Leonard Wesonga.
Asante Askofu Leonard Wesonga. Thank you.
kanisa andalisi, jamii iliyopoteza upande wa Balako, na wote walioacha shughuli zao. Akai retired army officer, na Msonge Daniel nilimjua from 1978. Yeye ndiye alinipea yule mama naishi na yeye, na Mungu awabariki kwa hayo machache. Asanteni.
Asante retired officer. Attention. Mungu yenda. alikuwa askari enzi za wakoloni. Hata vile vile. Asante sana. We are going on well. Na wasako wakiwa wamemaliza namna hivyo. I just want to recognize because ya baraka Mungu amempatia mwenda zake 80 years is not a joke. Living in a bonus is a privilege. Amebarikiwa kuwa na wajukuu. Ningependa tu wajukuu wakuja hapa mbele, hawa hawataongea. Nataka wajukuu, the grandchildren to the fallen hero. Ni sita waruhusu waongee maana their English is deep. You professors, you will not get anything because they can twang. I want to believe it's only me and you we will understand that. Wajukuu, look at the way they are walking, perpendicularly. English proportion, mathematics insider. Karibu sana, thank you. Karibu sana. You can just come. You can just come. Come. I want your wajukuu. Come on, you can just say your word.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Vanessa. The late Professor Daniel Sifuna was my grandfather. And although I'm saddened, I'm very thankful him so much, and I'll forever carry the values that he instilled in me, which was hard work, perseverance, and just standing firm in who you are. Yeah, thank you.
Your dad's name and mom's name. Excuse me, before you leave, just go back a bit. Your dad's name and mom's name.
My mom's name is always Mzee Sifuna, the firstborn daughter.
She'll come later. She'll come later, MC. She'll come later. She has that time. Did you understand that English, MC? The English was about to pass me. It is passing, but I am catching. All right, catching. Let's go, man.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Francis Philip Simiu, and I was the grandson of Professor Daniel. And I thank you all for coming today, sacrificing your time. And for me, he was my role model and my good friend. I'm really sad that he's gone, but we have to celebrate his life. And my mom is Olive Nelima. She's sitting over there.
Olive, once again, she's the one.
Yeah, and may God bless you.
Thank you. Sasa, hapa ndio mnahitaji mkalimani. Lakini tusikie.
Hello everyone, my name is Casey, daughter to Laura Sifuna, and may my grandfather rest in peace. Thank you all for coming today.
MC, what did you get anything there? Laura?
Yes.
Oh, for Sifuna. Sifunas. You are, Sifuna is here. Thank you very much. From America?
No, Australia.
Australia?
Yes.
Welcome, Kenya. I am representing Kenya. When you go back, you make sure you give me your number. God bless you so much. You are such loving, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, when wasomi wako hapa, the word called we are celebrating, it means we put a smile, yes? We can't celebrate when, is that celebration surely?
You are celebrating.
That's no celebration, that's not celebration. Kama umeketi na mtu tikitia yeye, tikitia.
Wewe, sheria.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, you know, I am a doctor, by the way. When I see the people when you wamekuwa grieved laughing, they are releasing some things. Kwa hivyo, kwa nafasi hii, okay, yeah. Kwa nafasi hii, wachukua wakiwa wameweza kusema, ningependa kuwalete walimu wetu ambao wametufunza kwa darasa. Siongelei wazazi sasa, ni walimu wakubwa, lakini wale wametufunza darasani. Tuko na Kepsha, tuko na Kupet, tuko na Nats. Tafadhali kama kuna wakilishi ambao wako hapo itakuwa ni mzuri. Wakija namna hivyo niweze kutambua uwepo wake kufika kwake chief wa Mwibale location, Madam Florence Kilikinji. Asante na recognize your presence, Madam Kilikinji. Walimu kulingana na nafasi zetu, tuko na nuts? Do we have the Kuppet team? Do we have the capture team?
Any colleagues from the primary section?
Yeah,
College Professor Total forgot to Teachers College.
Karibu sana
And
madam.
also Kaimosi, so you can represent them.
Karibu sana madam.
And from the section Kuppet, member from the Kuppet family, please.
Karibu sana.
Mitambo naona kipaza sauti changu kidogo kina hitilafu, lakini karibu mwalimu.
All mourners who have come to mourn our uncle, Professor Daniel Sifuna, I greet you in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Hamjambo. Yeah, my name is Rael Walumbe. I've come here to represent. Sorry. My name is Rael Walumbe. I've come to represent NAT. I'm the BC Bugoma East Branch, and when they have called NAT team, I didn't shy off. I've come at least to represent my team. About my uncle, Professor Sifuna, he has really mentored very many of us. And I'm not ashamed to say thank you, Papa. Wherever you are going, may you go and rest in eternal peace. May God bless you so much.
Wow. If you can say just one, we use one. If it is this one, we can use. If it's this one, we can use. Itakuwa sawa. Okay. Do we have any other representative? The Kuppet team? The Kuppet, the capture? Yeah, there. The capture? Kama hawapo, hata hivyo tunatambua uwepo wao sababu wamepita mikononi mwa our professor, the hero who is lying before us. Thank you so much. At the absentia wamekuwa represented with nuts. Thank you once again. I say thank you so much. Kwa nafasi hii tunaye wageni ambao wameweza kutoka Mali, wameweza fika hapa kwa sababu ya kumenzi na kumshabiki mwenda zake. Marafiki ambao wameweza kufika kutoka pembe zote Kenya na wamekuja kushabikia maisha waliishi pamoja na mwenda zake, nasema asante, karibu tena sana. Tunapozidi kumsindikiza baba, I want to tell you it is one in a million celebration time. Nafasi hii kuna wale wakwe ambao waliweza
Before that, also I think let's wait for the
watakuja kwa
university fraternity.
The university fraternity coming.
Go on, MC. In-laws wakwe, wale ambao wameoa hapa, wale ambao wameolewa hapa traditionally hawana nafasi hapa. Wale wameoa hapa abo bali maika babe ya muno bali maika MC uja kupaa wali wenye kabembe hazita
hakuna ni sawa. So I think that tunaweza ruka hiyo.
In-laws wa marehemu, tafadhali wale ambao wameoa watoto wa profesa ama wameoa watoto wa ndugu ya profesa ama wale ambao wameoa dada ya profesa, tafadhali ikiwa mko hapa, nafasi ni yenu. In-laws, basi MC inaonekana hawapo. Because I support the younger professors. Siwaoni.
Nafikiri wapo tu, lakini nafikiri tamaduni zinawazuia. Bado wanatafuta. These from Australia.
Who's coming next, MC, after that? Who's coming next?
Karibu sana. Wale wa in-laws, please just come. The in-laws, come.
In-laws wa professor, tafadhali. Ana kama kwa sababu professor bosba hiyo maji ya bali.
Asante. Karibu.
Wangu basi. Kumbana ni section ine.
Tumsifu Yesu Kristo. My name is Mary Namsonge, wife to Professor Gregory Namsonge, and Professor has
has been a really and really true father. Nimesema baba. Yeye ametulea, ametufunza, ametuelekeza, and we are really going to miss him. For me, alikuwa mwalimu wangu, brother-in-law, and maybe a true friend. We pray for his soul to rest well. And I'll end by just saying, God grant his soul eternal rest. That's what we can all hope for him. Asante kwa kunisikiliza.
Asante sana.
Basi waliofiwa kwa majina anaitwa Reverend James Okwero, marehemu profesa, tumeoa dada yake anaitwa Mary Makari kutoka kule Busia County. Kwa hivyo tunasema pole na Mungu amfariji na mpe maisha mema waliobaki. Mbarikiwe sana.
Asante sana Busia represented wako zetu.
Asanteni sana. Poleni wenye matanga. Kama mimi naitwa Simon Odhiambo Kisembe, ndugu ya Jackson Makari ambaye alikuwa ameoa Lukelesia na Mrende.
Asante sana.
Tusonge tu.
My names are Winisela Namsonge. I'm the wife of Telit Namsonge. Professor is not my father, is not my brother-in-law, but my father-in-law. Yeye ndio nilipata hapa. Yeye ndiye alipeleka tawari kwetu. Na alipo sote 13. Namshukuru. Yeye ndiye alinipeleka MTC.
Wow.
I'm very happy with Professor. Professor, sijui niseme nini, lakini Mungu amlinde.
Amen.
My Rosemary, Mungu akulinde na familia yako na muendelee kukulea. Siwezi kuongeza. Asante.
Thank you so much, mommy. God bless you.
Tumsifu Yesu Kristo daima na milele. Bakri wetu mpendwa, walimu wenzangu, chifu, wakeni wote ambao mmekuja hapa kutufariji, ninasema asante. Kwa majina naitwa Christine Namsonge, nikiwa village manager wa Torof, ambayo hiki kijiji ambapo tupo hapa saa hizi. Tena ni mwalimu wa tini, nasimamia Mwibale St. Martin Catholic Church. Huyu semenji yangu, mimi nimeishi na yeye vizuri, na mimi ndio niko kwa boma hapa. Wenzangu wako nje, lakini mimi ndio nimelinda hapa mali yake. Ninasema Mungu amemchukua na mahali ambapo anaenda apumzike kwa amani. Asanteni.
Asante sana wakwe zetu. Napenda hiyo. Kama unapiga makofi piga, kama hutaki wacha. Piga kama unapiga, nikupe nafasi ya ku-exercise. Asante. Thank you. Kwa hivyo tukiwa tumemalizana na wakwe zetu wote ambao wameweza kuongea kutoka mwanzo mpaka pale, na bado tuna wasemi wachache ambao wamesalia. Nilikuwa nimesema kwamba tuko na wageni wetu ambao wametoka mbali, walifanya kazi pamoja na mwenda zake, wamefunza naye, wamesoma naye, wamefika siku ya leo hapa kumpa buriani. Kwa hivyo ningelipenda kwa nafasi hii kulingana na vile nimepewa hapa, ni kwamba Mwenye ataweza ongea kwa niaba anaitwa na mwenye atakuwa kwa niaba na Msonge Gregory.
Samahani kidogo. Lakini hapo itifaki ya chuo kikuu ni hivi. Tuko na wanenaji. Kwanza ni kwamba ujumbe huu unaongozwa na makamu wa naibu chancellor ambaye ni Professor Caroline Fogwa. Lakini kwa sababu ya itifaki ningependa kuomba UWASU family Joe hapa, then you pick it up from there.
Asante.
The local UWASU Secretary General Daktari Nyukuri pale juu, ongea nena machache, umwalike UWASU family kutoka KU, alafu wenyewe watatuelekeza kwa utaratibu ambao unafaa.
Thank you. The UWASU.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremony, Dr. Brian Wanyama Singoro, familia ya Mzee and social solidarity. Is not easy. Through the profile ya Professor Wefwe Obonambo Adeke and committed, earning a PhD in 7 at the age of 33 is not a mean achievement, neither is it a walk in the park. Paka saechino kunywa le PhD mumya kaniko Professor Kanyolam sera ista esina ni abantu ye na kuiruma ye na kuirusi ye na hu biagimi andiki osubindi biebe masomo me Professor wala a profile here. If you look at that profile, unfortunately he was not recognized fully as supposed to be in Kenya. But if you look in the US, in France, in Germany, he had monumental accolades. And this communicates volumes to our ecosystem and political dispensation. Because Professor, you are the lowest cadre, another PS in any docket. Unfortunately, he did not. In Kenya, he was only the chair of the department. So we have to interrogate ourselves and see how best we acknowledge and award such talents. Before I welcome our colleagues from Kenyatta University, for public consumption, you realize that WASO lecturers countrywide, they could strike. We are on a national strike, not because of our wish, it's because of the insincerity and dishonest from the government and its agencies, including but not limited to the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Treasury, the Public Universities Consultative Forum, and of course the Federation of Kenya Employers. Otherwise, in the moment our return to work formula that was signed on 26th of September this year, if it's honored, we are ready to go back and work. Because we are also parents, we are guardians, so before I disengage, I wish to welcome our dear dons and colleagues from the premier and the great University of KU. Karibuni.
Hamjambo. God is good, and all the time. I am Jeroge Anthony, the chairman, Educational Foundations, where Professor Sifuna worked until he left us. Professor Sifuna, as you are all aware, is an icon, academic icon, scholar, and that is why we are here today. I'm representing the department that I've just said, but before then, before I do my speech, there are some colleagues that have worked for a very long time with Professor Sifuna. So I want to call them and say something in this order. Professor Otiende, Professor Pipi Ochola, Professor John Shiudu, Professor Orotho, Dr. Ogeno, Professor Munene from Northern Arizona University, and Dr. Mary Chepkemoi. So Professor Otiende, kindly come over. Professor, you take a very brief time, kindly.
As have been introduced, my name is Professor James Elijah Otiende. I worked with Professor Sifuna from the 1st of August 1984. And all this time, he was a very respectable person, very fair in all his activities, and he mentored very many students, especially in his area of history of education. History of education is his discipline, and as far as I can see, he did his best and worked very much like Socrates. I do not want to say more. I wish that he finds rest in heaven. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Next is Professor Pipi Ochoa.
Professor Otiende, our lecturer in year 1. Professor Chola, sociologist. Then a young, vibrant scholar.
All protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to witness this momentous occasion. I wish Professor Shiudu came up here with me. There's a reason why I want him here. Thank you very much. I'll mention why I have called him on the platform after I say a few words. I'm here to pay respect to Professor Daniel Sifuna. And I need to say, I don't have any apology why I'm here. I decided I would become and bury him without fail. So anything I had is shelved. Because Professor Sifuna, our paths first crossed in 1966 when we met at Nyeri High School. He had come from Kibabi and I had come from St. Mary's Yala. So we met there, we were A-level students taking more or less similar subjects. So that's how far our relationship goes. When we finished our A-level examination in November of 1967, he went to Makerere and I went to the University of, no, he went to Makerere University College. Both and Dar es Salaam University College were part of the University of East Africa. I wish it had remained that way, we would have made more strides. So I'm here therefore to pay respect to my age mate, my schoolmate, my religious mate, and my Kenyan mate. That's how far we are together. Professor Sifuna remained, we converged again in the 70s when he was doing his Master's of Education degree at the University of Nairobi now, and I was also doing my Bachelor of Arts at the same institution. But we left each other when in 1973, I left for the United States to pursue my PhD studies, and he remained to do his PhD studies, which he got actually 3 years earlier than myself. To cut a long story short, we met again in 1984 when I came to Kenya on home leave from the University of Zambia, Lusaka. I visited him at KU. I knew he was there heading the Department of Educational Foundations. So, 84. That is when we hatched an idea that I should come out of Lusaka back to Kenya. And in 1987, he recruited me into the Department of Educational Foundations as a senior lecturer. Competitive. There was no favoring. There I met Dr. John Shiundu then, a person who, a gentleman I had known way back, I think in 1964. He was at St. Paul's, Samkura. I was at Yala. We went to do debating at there. And during those times, I was very politically inclined. So I was having a flyweight as I debated animatedly. They nicknamed me Jaramogi from the lake. And Chiundu John would cite that when we met at KU around 1987, when I came back there. That is my background. John Chiundu and Professor Sifuna, in a sense, we have been 3 academic musketeers. Doing research together, supervising students together, debating social issues together, and at sometimes quarreling together. You are not, when you interact, you have to quarrel a bit, but you don't quarrel where you pull your fists. So far, so good. I want to, John, you will remain here and maybe continue after I leave. I think your name followed. Don't leave. I want to talk about Professor Sifuna as a scholar, because that is where I know him best, as a scholar. Professor Sifuna's family, we were interacting with Professor Sifuna as scholars. We never interacted in social circles. So if I was deviant or he was deviant, none of us is to blame for each other's behavior. We never shared that area. Daniel Sifuna was not endowed with the urbane personality of Professor George Eshiwani. He was not endowed with the metaphysical and philosophical sophistication of Professor Nyasani, Joseph Nyasani of the University of Nairobi. Neither was he endowed with the linguistic fluency or flair of Professor Eric Masinde Aseka. Nonetheless, he was a profound and productive scholar. So today I'm talking about an academic guru or an academic icon. Very quickly, Professor Sifuna had an encyclopedic memory. Encyclopedic memory. So that allowed him to navigate very complex facts, very complex ideas, and he would see how they were linked. So that was the man. He had a mind which was very analytical. Second, Professor Sifuna had a knack or an inclination for paying attention to detail. So he never let things get lightly. He would pursue detail. He was very good in that. And that allowed him also to navigate a number of issues academically. I would also like to pay tribute to this gentleman who is lying here for being academically, socially, politically, fiercely independent. If you don't like the word fiercely independent, then you use the word in my vocabulary. He was very autonomous. And therefore, because of that, Professor Sifuna disliked anybody who displayed a sycophantic behavior, who was a sycophant. He wouldn't tolerate that. While he was very strict, he was also very fair. He assessed his students' work with detachment, neutrality, without allowing any extraneous factors such as the sex of the candidate, or the ethnicity of the candidate, or the religion of the candidate, or the social status of the candidate to influence him. If you got any grade from Professor Sifuna, it is that which, in his best judgment, you deserved. Nothing more, nothing less. So that's the gentleman we are escorting here. I could say more. Maybe there will be a platform to do that. But allow me now to shift a bit. There's something that I feel is important for us to talk about when we have a gathering of this nature. One, many of us scholars in this country are passing on to the next world without telling our story. In other words, we do not leave behind any autobiography or biography. I can count some of my very senior luminary scholars who have passed on, and then when they go, nothing is left behind for posterity. So please, let's break this habit. I'll go quick. So let's break this habit. Let's write something about ourselves for posterity, so that when they see Professor Shiundi here, or Professor Sifuna, or any of us, they don't assume that it was an easy walk down the park. It has been sweat, it has been swat, and that needs to be documented. So, as I talk about that, my autobiography should come out probably not later than end of December. The other one, and that we as scholars develop our own honors roll, honors list, and have our criteria who we should honor and who we should not. Because the current honors list of the Kenyan government is heavily biased against scholars, either by default or by design. They don't recognize what we do. They award largely members of the political class, who I call the kleptomanic class. They award very generously members of the armed forces, including police and members of the general service unit, that will easily break your bone. They award senior members of the civil service, and they also award some idiosyncratic characters, that someone was eating githeri, so you give them son of the burning spear or whatever it was. Please, we can have our own honors roll, recognize our people, have them even in a hall of fame built by us, and we decide one of the universities will house that. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we need, and we should pick it from here, to have academic papers or academic writings in honor of some of our outstanding scholars, outstanding intellectuals, outstanding innovators. We need that. We can have seminars, workshops, and so on. So I'm expecting that when you go back to Kenyatta University, perhaps by early January, you'll be calling me to come and present a paper on Professor Daniel Sifuna, because we'll be having a seminar, a workshop retitled In Honor of Professor Emeritus Daniel Namsonge Sifuna. You invite us, we'll become with thematic papers and write them. So, I think that those are very important matters. I want to conclude very quickly. And because I'm both a statistician, a theoretician, a model builder, but I'm also a poet, to say nothing of being a martial artist. So, I want to read a poem here in honor of Professor Daniel Sifuna, and I'm appealing the family. We are here. You will get from the book where we have signed. Reach us in your hours of need, so that's why we sign these books. I'll just read a few lines in honor of Sir Daniel. Do you hold this for me? If you have a poetic bent, but it is not written in a complicated language. It is not. I'm not Christopher Okigbo. This is Paul Achola writing very simply. And so here we are. Dusk has settled on the canopy of this academic ego. I'm referring to Professor Sifuna. The dusk has settled on the canopy of this academic ego. Yet, there will be a new dawn tomorrow, made lively by the academic colleagues and offspring of Daniel Sifuna. His legacy cannot die. He has left you people, offspring and colleagues. The Elgon tick sheds its dead seeds. The Elgon tick sheds its dead seeds to regenerate into a dense forest. Thank you very much. So I'm saying that the Elgon tick sheds its dead seeds to regenerate into a dense forest for the comfort of biodiversity, flora and fauna alike. Bye-bye, the oak tree that never dies. May your soul rest in peace and perpetuity. Daniel Namsonge Sifuna, go in peace. We will cherish your memory. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Before we continue, thank you so much, Professor Achola, for that good sentiments and good tributes to fallen hero. What I can ask us is that we are behind time, and the father is to take over in a few. So I want to pray so that them who are coming to speak after Professor Achola, please, we can be brief in our speeches. Thank you so much. Once again, welcome.
Thank you very much. Much obliged. MC. Next is Professor John Shiodo. You want me here?
Hey, okay. I was with you.
Yeah, good.
Is the other side, the camera? Yeah.
Yeah, the family of Professor Daniel Namsonge Sifuna, the academic family of Professor Daniel Namsonge Sifuna, relatives, friends, and neighbors. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
I'll not say much. Professor Chola told you that we used to think alike, the three musketeers. So probably what he has said is what I could also have said, but nevertheless,
I'm here to mourn my great friend, confidant. My history with Professor Sifuna goes to 1964. When we met, he was in Kibabi, St. Mary's, and I was in St. Paul's, Amkura. They were classes ahead of me, the Paul in Ayala. But nevertheless, we are the same age bracket. So I've known Professor for a long time. I've known Professor as my teacher at the University of Nairobi, my colleague in Kenyatta University, and sometimes it's good to illustrate some of these things that Paul said about Professor Sifuna, a no-nonsense professor. And I'll give you one example. Professor was an associate professor for a very long time. For promotion to professor, he was invited to the interview. And when he arrived, and he was together with the late Professor Okacha, when they arrived, those two of my teachers and colleagues, they looked at the panel that was going to interview them. They said, this is nonsense. No way. And they just walked out. It took a long time, until I had to intervene. That time I was the academic registrar, to convince Professor Sifuna and Professor Okacha, because I was getting embarrassed. These were my teachers, and I caught up with them. I said, no, Prof, I want to ask you to reconsider. And this time, I'll make sure that the proper panel is constituted, proper academic panel. And we just did that. We invited them for the interview, they came, and of course, there was no question of failing or passing. These were already professors in all sorts of manner. So that was Professor Sifuna. When Professor Chola said that he was a no-nonsense academician, had no psychophancy, and all that kind of bootlicking and so on, that was Sifuna. One thing that you did not put in Sifuna, that Sifuna and Professor Bogongo were the first two tutorial fellows to be employed in the Faculty of Education, University of Nairobi. Again, something you did not mention, that Professor Sifuna is one of the founders of Kenyatta University. They are the people who laid the foundation. I'm not talking of Kenyatta University College, but Kenyatta University. History will have it that Professor Sifuna was one of these people behind the development of this great university, KU. And lastly, I just tell you something again. Professor Sifuna, a great friend of mine, we lived in the same zone in KU, they call it upper zone. And they may not know, but there's Sifuna has a daughter called Laura. And my daughter is called Laura. They are age mates. And they became friends. I don't know whether they are still friends. Is in Nairobi there, I don't know. Whether they are still friends. Yeah. But that was another strong link between me and Professor Sifuna. We are friends also at family level. And another thing, Sifuna used to tell me, and Professor witness. At least one time we were together. Whenever we are flying in the plane, and we flew many planes. We flew to where, and whenever we were in the plane, and they serve lunch or what, and those times they used to serve a lot of drinks, wine, spirits, and so on. That Sifuna would ask me, John, if you had not gone to school or to the university, would you be eating this? You know, Professor just asked me, but I don't think he expected an answer. And he then John, me, he said, I would be splitting firewood for in Bomala and Busia for women making changa. And Achola would probably be in Siaya pushing Mugogoteni. This is an illustration how Professor Daniel Namsonge Sifuna valued what? Education. And with that, Professor has touched many, many souls and many minds and many bodies. This young man who's standing with me here, the product of all of us. So if you know him, Dr. Mukonyi, the product of Sifuna, Achola, and myself. But now we decided to leave KU and we are in Masinde Mrilo together. But still we are KU. Whenever I walk around, they ask me, how is KU? Not most. And incidentally, when I came, I was just told to say to the KU. There's no question about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I would say a lot about my friend, my confidant, my mentor, my advisor, Professor Daniel Namsonge Sifuna. But what I can say lastly, we know his character. And let's just emulate that character. It's a character that will take you places and will make you succeed in life. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much.
Professor Orogo, Professor Kombo, kindly prepare, then Dr. Ogeno, Professor Munene, and Dr. Merichet Kemwe. And as we have been advised by our MC, let's take the shortest time possible, kindly.
I don't want to climb for two reasons, and I want to be very short because of time. The first thing is come here to mourn my friend and my researcher. In fact, the people who are on the stage there, Professor Chola, Shundu, and the one lying there, the fallen, were my supervisors at PhD. So I'm mourning my best friend and my best teacher. As you can see, I've not climbed on the podium because traditions say that when your elders have talked, you should not even talk. But I'm going to talk because of two reasons. One, because of what I've said, but also two, because I've come when I'm also distressed, because as I'm talking, most of you know that I lost my daughter who is in the mortuary now, a 33-year-old daughter who was found murdered in Kahawa West. So as I'm talking, I've come here because I must come and mourn my friend. Otherwise, I would be in Nairobi or be on 16th, next, 16th, November, next Saturday in
Sorry, all listener, Professor.
Thank you, Prof. Next is Professor Kombo, and kindly Professor Gome, as a student of Professor Sifuna, kindly prepare also after Professor Kombo.
Protocol observed, and I'm told that since it has been observed, I don't even have to go into details, otherwise my name is Kisilu Kombo. I can say I am what I am because of Professor Sifuna. He got me from high school, he employed me, and then he made sure that even when it came to writing of books, writing of papers, introduced me to those things. And it is not easy describing the way. I just want to say that let him go in peace and carry his legacy, the legacy that he took. Thank you so much.
I've finished. Once dean to our late professor. Watoto wako Kiswahili Mjua Prof 29 after mimi nilikuwa nikafanya wanafunzi sasa ana wetu akira kini 1 month ilianza as an
msimamo, but mimi had become extreme. Akanipa msomo akaniambia niwachane na mambo ya kuwa extreme. When I came back, Moya akasema ametusamehe, but most of my friends who didn't run away kama viongozi walishikwa na wakawawa. Niliporudi kama nimemaliza Makerere, I was posted to Baringo. Nikiwa nafundisha Baringo, nilikuwa napelekwa kwa polisi every week ya kwamba nafundisha mambo ambayo yanaandamana Moi. Na nilikuwa nafundisha vitabu kama Betray in the City, Kilio cha Haki, vitabu ambavyo serikali leo imetupatia tufundishe. Hello? 1990, when the multi-party agitation began, the focus was not on people like Ngome, focus was kwa watu kama Jaramogi Oginga Odinga,